the Nerumero Genshin Impact situation got worse. How did it get worse? What happened?
How Hoyoverse exploits their biggest creators, the loyalty illusion. Glaive,
Whoa.
I love you, man. Another creator talking about this shit. I swear to God, I feel like an old man on his front porch yelling at children. Nobody's seeing the fucking doom in the sky. Nobody talks about the real issues. How the fuck is nobody from Genshin Impact talking about the fact that Nerumero got fucking forced to stop playing Genshin and to not, or got forced to continue playing Genshin and to not play Wuthering Waves when he wasn't even contracted? It's weird as shit. And the fact that nobody from Genshin is talking about.
Although the Reddit, the big gacha game Reddit will tell you it's like, it's just the one content creator saying so it's not real. Maybe, so we don't talk about it.
It's like they want to live in their own
Classic
delusional world where they ignore reality and act like everything's fine. It's insane. Like, not even a, hey, I don't think that's cool. They didn't even talk about it on Twitter. Not a single video about this predatory practice of making the game more of a scam to its players. None of them are talking about it, except for on their Twitter, which is a fucking platform that businesses don't monitor. It's insane.
True.
It's pathetic.
Twitter is also like, it might get you a temperature check of what people may be looking to talk about going forward somewhere else and stuff, or what is already in the water, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Just speak your fucking thoughts. They're paid to shut the fuck up? I don't know about that.
Just exposed Hoyoverse for their treatment of official creators.
Yep.
And let me tell you, it's not pretty. Nerumero isn't just any content creator. With over 550,000 subscribers, he is one of the biggest names in the Japanese gaming scene. From the early days of Genshin Impact, he has been a cornerstone of the community, offering gameplay guides, engaging discussions, and humor that brought players together. But despite his undeniable influence and loyalty, Hoyoverse staff consistently treated him poorly. From dismissive communication to outright ignoring him when he reached out for clarity, the red flags were everywhere. And
I'm thinking it's because he's his own person, right? That's a problem, right, to the company. So they're nice to the people who they know that aren't their own person just yet, so...
Then came the breaking point. Nerumero was kicked out of the official creator program without any warning, without any explanation.
When I was removed, this is a little known fact, I was in the content creator program for Genshin Impact for about a month and a half. I was removed without message, without warning, without any follow-up, no matter how many times I reached out. Never knew why. Fast forward 3 years, and I hear...
Hey, it's not like I wouldn't understand why Tectone got removed, right? Because he's too much of his own person for many things, right? But, you know... No communication, that's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, if you can't even write an essay as to why you want to remove somebody from something, and you may not have a process for assessing these things properly, right? That's a bit of a big issue, not just a red flag.
From a friend of a community manager that the reason why I got kicked out was too much constructive criticism of our product.
Whoa.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
That is not unexpected. It's also complete BS.
When we get to a point where creators speaking out on how we think your game can improve and what we think the community wants as a whole is deemed as toxic.
Oh man, you know what we need? We need the Genshin content creators to start unionizing. That's what it is.
And unhelpful? Why the would I want to play your game? And then these little dogs are gonna blacklist me from...
Although, probably not really, because we can just refer people to go to watch Tectone or something instead of some of these fake-ass content creators under a contract. And then the contracts are gonna be better, you know? And the content creators under a contract may be less fake-ass. So I'm not trying to generalize about all possible worlds ahead of us, right? And in the present too, probably. There's a problem that's super fixable. Just don't get captured by the people who don't want you to listen to Tectone, just because, yeah, he does have some crap takes here and there, and he does have a particular style that's not everyone's favorite.
Talking to their voice actors are gonna blacklist me from getting direct sponsorships for their other games. It's pathetic.
Flat out kicked him out. No word, no nothing. At all.
Imagine pouring your heart into something for years, only to be cast aside without even a conversation. It felt like being ghosted by someone you thought you had a strong connection with.
True.
Eventually, thanks to community support and a fellow content creator.
Also, by the way, it's not like Genshin benefits from treating their contracted creators that way. Just like for understanding, it betrays a lack of process, as like the whole thing does.
Nerumero managed to re-enter the program, but even then, things didn't improve. Despite—
And you want to know why it freaks me out so much? Because if you guys don't remember, Mr. Pokey released a video that Hoyoverse themselves copyright struck and got him to take down. And Mr. Pokey had to fear that he was losing his channel for 48 hours until, thank God, they descended from the heavens and said, oh, don't worry, we're not going to destroy your channel yet. Find out next time.
Alrighty.
It's this lack of communication that puts their directly sponsored and approved of content creators in a life of fear. And the fact that people deal with this for what? For a couple extra primo gems a month.
You see, there's the metrics that you want to optimize for, and you have certain expectations of your content creators as a function of that. You don't think. You just optimize the metrics, and then you have expectations of your content creators that are outlandish. You have the content creators who go along with this stuff in the first place, so they don't need this kind of treatment, quote unquote, that the metrics would want you to induce. There is no problem in a dysfunctional process if everyone's going along with it, and the product is good. And I mean, that's the thing, Hoyo, they tend to make good games, right? I mean, Honkai Star Rail, it really turned into a visual novel more than anything. Yeah, it's a bit of an issue. I appreciate it as a visual novel. I'm not gonna tell people, oh, this is like this new hot RPG or whatever. Banana Slumber Monkey, I like that one. That was good. And now we're set for the next story arc, and I was like, yeah, cool. Alright, I mean, that was the drink mixing thing. I think was mostly a bonus event. I don't know. That stuff is just generally very poorly written. It's like Genshin Impact, this one event early into it where you got like Scaramouche and stuff, and that's then some lore points, plot points. That was good. And then they never did that again.
So they call you a good boy and, let's be real, probably bought your fucking channel. It's fucking pathetic.
Despite being one of the biggest names in the space, he was repeatedly left out of key events and denied early access privileges. Privileges that ironically were handed out to similar creators.
True.
And then came the—
Now, I will admit, the early access content where creators get to dip their toes into content early and play the characters and make a video on it is going to get them a 1 of 10 video. And what does 1 of 10 video mean? That means a highly performing 1 of 10, like your best performing video in the past 10. And when you get a 1 of 10, it's how your channel re-enters the algorithm. You can't get back into the algorithm unless you get a 1 of 10. So you want to spam those because YouTube needs to know that your channel is doing better now than it was. And it gives you a free one of those, because obviously anybody who wants to see the character early is going to go see the character early. But the problem is it creates a non-free market to where now you have to suck this.
It also creates a appreciation for leaks, right? Like if you're gonna have the content creator server and the leaks, it's like it's the same thing, isn't it? It's just the leaks are not sanctioned in terms of marketing pipeline of the company, which arguably makes them better. Now, I'm not endorsing or condemning leaks. You know what I mean?
This company's dick and only speak positively about their characters. Otherwise, you won't get access to the good boy server. Me personally, the only way to fix this is to stop watching content creators who have access to the early access server and support those who don't. That's just me. But yeah, nobody's going to fucking do that. This is my own thing. That's pretty much the only alternative.
The final straw.
You also got to understand, I was on the public beta environment on League of Legends for a while. It wasn't even hard to get on. But yeah, so I was on there and was making preview content sort of stuff, and it's like, it's not even fun to make. I don't want to just like make content about like, ooh, we gotta have this stuff coming up and whatnot. And I was like, okay, better search engine optimization with the preview stuff, but it's just tedious. Like, fuck that. And then it has to be timed. You have to be timely with it. Like, I don't like that. Sheesh. Anyway, not saying it's like bad because of that, because I didn't like it, but yeah, I mean, it's probably just not for me, right?
After streaming Wuthering Waves, Hoyoverse staff immediately reached out to him. Their message was clear: please do not do that. Now, legally—
Okay, the other problem is, I don't want to send any shit towards Brax and Mr. Pokey because they are good dudes and they do speak constructively about the game. They do. It's just such a hard issue to solve.
I don't know. For me, I'm thinking if a company contacted me like that, I'd have to think hard about like, okay, do I just delete all my videos for this game now? Because, yeah, I mean, technically it's my right to have transformative content on my channel. Sure. Technically, but also, you know, I'm not gonna go to court over this, so...
But
Again, it's totally self-defeating what Hoyo is doing about this in Japan, and they probably understand, like, somewhere else, in China and in the West, they probably understand. Japan has some very, like, you don't speak about things sort of things, you just have to get it sort of thing going on.
Sure, you don't want to fault anybody for taking this early access because it is huge for their career, and I'll be real, anybody would do it. I just want...
I mean, don't be a leaker, but make content that focuses on talking about what's coming up and so on, right? I mean, it's not worse than being on the early access server in terms of the way you benefit from the search engine optimization.
I want to think of a fix for the fucking issue, and I just can't. No. Keep watching Mr. Pokey. Keep watching Brax. They're great dudes. They are.
If you get too big, okay, maybe the company gonna try to piss at your leg, even though you have every right to talk about leaks that somebody else produced, right? So it's like, it's complicated. Like, what kind of trouble do you want to get yourself into? Of course, you could farm that for drama too, right? But I don't know. I mean, it would clearly be a complete overreach of a company to try to shut down YouTubers talking about leaks that others produce, right? I mean, it just makes no sense. Anyway.
They're great dudes. But this early access server just poses such a huge issue. It's frustrating. It really is frustrating.
And yeah.
Because that's why these people will continue to try to stay in the good books when things should be spoken about more clearly.
They couldn't stop.
For me, though, I'm not that frustrated with this because, again, this goes totally against Hoyo's own self-interest, and they will fix that in time. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna lose sleep over something that costs Hoyoverse money, and they will fix it as a result of that, right?
There was no contract, no clause.
And there will be better content creators. Like, yeah, I mean, it's a growing pain. Okay, whatever.
Was binding him, but the subtext was obvious. It's either loyalty or exile.
Yeah, it's a fault of the system, not the creator. You're absolutely right.
And after years of mistreatment, miscommunication, and being sidelined, Nerumero decided to leave the creator program entirely. And for the first time, he spoke out openly, honestly, and without fear. This isn't...
Now, that being said, if you're not a guide maker, you don't need Hoyoverse at all. That's the only thing they can provide you is a bonus to guide makers. Anybody who doesn't make guide, you're free. And I'll be real, I think for longevity of your career, you should just stop being a guide maker regardless, my opinion.
Isn't just a story about one creator.
That's another thing that I think, what's his name? Upper Echelon has been doing. He's been making these guides, like a lot of them that are not like super involved. It's not bad to be a guide maker if you just get your work to output ratio fixed, your effort to results ratio, right? Like if you make super involved guides for like this random character released in a random game, it's maybe not great. But if you like find a funny glitch somewhere or like explain how you can do something cool, you know, like 5-minute video, 10-minute video, if you want to like, you know, get the mid-roll ads, I think that's a thing. If you just want to do that, I mean, you can be a good guide maker, right? It's just like, yeah, you cannot over-invest into any single video.
It's about how it feels to be deep.
I mean, you can do it for training and testing purposes. Like, you might learn something. You might learn a lot, right? But, yeah, you also want to throw in some content that just works on a good time profile.
Valued. Despite years of loyalty and hard work, the exhaustion of giving so much and receiving so little in return, watching others get the opportunities you were denied, despite being on the same stage. And at the end, the relief of finally cutting ties and realizing that you can speak your mind without walking on eggshells. But this isn't just Nerumero's story. It's...
I think valuing what it is you are and aren't allowed to say should take precedence over anything else, because I think the ability to speak freely without fear of consequence is so fucking important.
Not just about one content creator being mistreated by a company.
It's a bit of a pipe dream, right? I guess there's always going to be things you run into that you don't want to speak about freely, right? But so you just have to deal with it.
It's a symptom of a bigger problem, one that stretches across the entire gacha and gaming industry. At the core of this issue lies a fundamental truth about how Hoyoverse and many large gaming companies operate. They prioritize brand control and public perception above meaningful relationships with their content creators. It's not about fostering partnerships or mutual growth, it's about maintaining absolute control over their image and maximizing
This is the assumed thing. Like, you don't need to think, you just follow the metrics and they will make you do this. It's not optional though. And yeah, it's a problem, sure.
Profit while minimizing.
We are the supreme overlords. You will make us money. We will give you nothing. He, ha, ha.
And like every company works like that. You follow the metrics and then that's the result. And then the better companies, quote unquote, that are more effective at what they do, they have figured this out and they will be a lot more giving in terms of what they let other people do with their thing, right? Doesn't make them better companies. They're just a bit more experienced in the game, right? You know, don't make the mistake to think that the company is a nice company just because they give to charity here and there or what, and you can talk shit about them. No, they still have the same incentive structure in the background that makes them make decisions. All right, and they will look for the maximum return on their investment, and that means if there's better products, well, better products that save you like lots of money, you will never hear of them because of anti-competitive practices of this company. That's like super nice and you can talk smack about them and whatever, right? Like in the background, well, you lose everything to the company, potentially. I do say good health is number one, right? I mean, I do say that, all right? So, I mean, there's much more, but anyway.
Risk and cost. The relationship between Hoyoverse and
did you know companies can work together and have shared interests?
Its creators often feels
it's called a hedge fund and whatever, endowment for an university, whatever. It's like follow the money.
Transactional, and even then, it's a one-sided transaction.
He's bald.
And so, like, you know, I really can't be mad at Hoyoverse here, right? At least they make it openly, the way it's supposed to be done, right? I mean, as a company that's looking for a coin, you know.
Most of the risk while Hoyoverse reaps the rewards. By not having formal
and again, they'll wise up.
Contracts with many creators, Hoyoverse avoids any legal or financial responsibility toward them. Creators aren't promised consistent compensation, resources, or even respect. They're just tools for marketing. If something goes wrong, Hoyoverse can cut ties immediately with no strings attached.
By the way, do you want to know why Mr. Pokey got copyright struck? He asked the community manager if he could post the footage. He posted the footage. The community manager was wrong and then struck his channel. So all Mr. Pokey did was just listen to what he was told and he got copyright struck. Thankfully, it was resolved about 48 to 72 hours later, but it was insane that it happened to begin with.
Yeah.
Leaving create.
Oh, yeah, and then they asked him to apologize.
Complete misplay on the PR front, as you would expect also.
Yeah, imagine that.
Creators out in the cold. Free advertisement, minimal cost. Every video, every live stream, every post about their games is free advertising for Hoyoverse. While smaller creators might get some minor perks, big creators like Nerumero, who drive thousands of viewers and sales, are often left with nothing in return.
I'm gonna say something.
I mean, he's making money, no? I think he's doing pretty good for himself, probably.
That I never thought I would say publicly. But I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is going to absolutely give me more competition, which is not good for my channel whatsoever. But I need to go ahead and tell you guys something that a lot of you guys don't know. And a lot of you guys don't realize how this quite literally is fucking over many creators who ever want to escape. We're about to talk about the business back end of things. A lot of you guys may not understand this. I'm going to attempt to make this make as much sense as possible. And if you're a creator and you're reacting to this, first of all, thank you. I love when people react to my videos.
Welcome.
And secondly, if you think I'm wrong, please demonstrate and please explain why you disagree. I am now going to explain to you why Hoyoverse is destroying your channel if you ever decide to pivot out of it.
Ooh, how?
This is how you are in the Hoyo prison. Sounds crazy, doesn't it?
Can't they just do leaks? Like, not do them myself, but talk about them? I don't know. Again, too tedious for me, but
Sounds like a conspiracy theory, doesn't it?
What is it?
Okay. So let's talk about this. What does the Hoyo early access system do? What the Hoyoverse early access system does, it allows you to push out videos that give you a free 1 of 10. On the surface,
True.
That sounds very good, right? You get a free 1 of 10 video. Now, what does that 1 of 10 video say to YouTube's algorithm? This is the content that we want. This video right here. Now, those videos are only available if Hoyoverse tells you you can have it.
Sure, but that's the thing, is there's more algos you can write, right? It's like Asmongold will tell you, I just react to the popular stuff. It's like, yeah, it works, right? I mean, of course. Yeah, if you just want to be a game content creator and you don't know jack shit about anything, it's like, okay, you're gonna be stuck either making these early access videos or not making content at all, right? Because everything else is kind of whatever. Yeah, and you wouldn't even think about doing commentary on leaks. Because, I don't know, apparently people don't like leaks, which is just baffling to me. I don't know, like, what's the big deal with leaks? It's not like people are gonna be, like, misled into thinking this character is, like, super good, but it's actually kind of mid. That's not the problem with leaks at all. I don't know what is the problem with it, right? But anyway.
This now means that your channel's entire fate is now in the hands of the early access system. Which means if you ever want to get an authentic 1 of 10 video, it now becomes insurmountably harder. Because now the video that you want to give your audience, you no longer can. Which means if they ever decide to cut you, if you ever decide to branch out, you can't. And your channel is dead. Because now the video that
I mean, you better branch out smartly. Come on.
YouTube's algorithm is asking for, you can no longer supply it. Which means you must stay in their good books forever.
And I mean, honestly, this is a lot about, yeah, people gotta think about what is gonna play with the algorithm. That's important, you know? And there's no shame in doing that, right?
And if you're not, your YouTube is dead. Basing your channel on the life and death of one video game means that your channel lives and dies with that game.
And I mean, I mentioned before, Upper Echelon, he makes a lot of low effort guides that actually deliver value to people, all right? It's not a problem, it's low effort. The interesting part is it delivers value to the viewers. People look for it, it's searchable, it's something people want to know about. This game has like funny stuff going on you can do, like whatever. Like there's so many things you could be doing. If somebody appreciates your 5-minute vid about like this funny thing in a game you can do, or like useful strategy, whatever, 5-minute vid, whatever, you can, people will share it around and it's gonna be good. Like, this ain't no rocket science. It's like, what do people actually want to see? And so, like, a lot of content creators with this, like, early access thing and no idea about what they could be doing instead, I think they just, like, lean into the super fan mentality of some Genshin enjoyers or whatever, right? Like, it's like, they gobble up all the garbage thrown their way and be thankful for it, the super fans. Yeah, and so, small content creators who want to get into this early access thing, high risk that they end up having these fans. And like, what do you want with these anyway?
If that's the type of creator that you want to be, go for it. But if you just have passion for gaming and not just one company, the early access server is the worst thing you can do for your channel. The best thing you can do is provide non-early access content of your own fruition, of your own accord, and as much variety as possible that you can get your chat and community to like. By
Did you do something that works for the algorithm, that delivers value to people that they're gonna share around?
Showing your passion.
And you can do leaks, right? I mean, you don't do the leaks, but you talk about them. Again, I'm not saying you should break an NDA, but hey, if somebody else broke an NDA, that's not your problem.
By showing your connectedness to your viewer, to the creator. These artificial early access guides are great on the surface, but just know, if you tie your success...
If you play Hoyo games and care about guides, I go to Game 8 for Zenless Zone 0 guides.
To this hand that feeds you, whenever you want to leave, you got nothing else to eat, and you will die with that game. And you need to acknowledge that. And you need to ask yourself, is that good for me? The best thing that you can do now is start weaning off how many of those videos you are pushing out and getting your videos to perform well without them helping you. Because if you ever decide you want to do anything else ever in the future, you can't.
If your only gimmick is that you have early access, it's like, what do you even have? It's not about like some insidious Hoyo plot. No, it's like, it's not like you would be making content that people want to see anyway. If the whole point is, oh, we have the early access, oh, we have the leaks, whatever, right? I mean, see, I'm not saying you can't do leaks. I'm saying you can do leaks, but also, again, not leak them yourself, but what's your value add to the conversation, right? If you're a one-trick Andy, it's like, it's not good.
Very important to talk about.
In short, they expect loyalty and effort without offering stability or reward in return. This approach—
I disagree. You can do OnlyFans. Yeah, maybe you should open up an OnlyFans, Fobs. That way your girlfriend's not the only one paying for shit.
Which isn't accidental, it's deliberate cost-cutting disguised as community engagement. Now let's address the elephant in the room, Wuthering Waves. Why did Hoyoverse react immediately when Nerumero streamed it? They ghosted him for months when he asked about why he—
Stop saying that. People think that it's true. Oh, okay, then prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, man.
Again, you're a product that people want to look at. Come on.
Prove me wrong.
He was kicked out of the official creator program, so why did they react so fast to this one? It's because of audience overlap. Both games are—
Fine, guys. Fob's girlfriend doesn't pay for everything. Okay, you happy? She only pays for 99%.
are gacha-focused open-world RPGs. Hence, the overlap between their audience is massive. A major creator like Nerumero openly enjoying Wuthering Waves poses a direct threat to Hoyoverse's player retention.
Yeah, I think I already commented on that. Is there more here? I don't want to make this like super yappy, you know what I mean?
Hoyoverse wants unwavering—
Yeah, I have power, true. Again, it turns into this thing where we talked about that already, right? Like creators, you want the ones that are gonna follow the line, read the room, whatever, Japanese style, like do the things the company wants without ever thinking about not doing that. Just like be a hype machine for the game, whatever. And that's the kind of creators the company likes. It's like plausible deniability, etc. If the game turns out less hype than expected, it's not even like the company said anything. And again, it's this isn't a great long-term strategy.
It's about control. Now this is where things get messy. Because while gaming companies hold significant power over creators, there's another group almost equal grip on their careers. Audience. In gaming communities, particularly in spaces like Genshin Impact or Wuthering Waves, there's an almost cult-like loyalty that develops among certain players. Fans become fiercely defensive of the being self-led company behind it. If you have spent any time in these online spaces, you've seen it firsthand.
The super fans.
One points out a genuine flaw in the game, and suddenly they're—
and other stuff.
Choose to be a hater or a fake fan.
It's like going on, right? The moment you say Tectone's that bad guy, you'll be downloaded to Oblivion. Check any Red Gotcha game.
Honestly, I think it's like it's not the super fan in the sense of give the big money, but it's like people who give their metaphoric soul to the company, right? That happens to the game, whatever. Just because it's like kind of a good game. Come on, I've read, I've heard a lot of great things in my life. So why give my soul lightly to some random game company? I don't know.
But why does this happen? It comes down to emotional investment. These players have poured time, money, and passion into the game. They have formed friendships, memories, and even parts of their identity around it. So when someone points out a flaw or expresses dissatisfaction, it feels deeply personal, almost like an attack on them. But here's the problem.
If someone is attacking your game and you take it as a personal insult, I'm sorry, man, you need one of two things: therapy or Jesus Christ himself.
This behavior doesn't just stay in the comment section, it actively harms creators. Creators are terrified of upsetting their audiences. One wrong move, one poorly received opinion, and suddenly
you end up like Enviosity.
Or Saya, I don't know. Maybe with Saya from the Song of Saya, I don't know. Although, I just think it's good perspective on the whole religious angle.
A fucking nitpicker.
Her livelihood is at risk. Imagine being—
Because like, what is religion? It's like you putting your agency into some unidentified object, right? So, but it's not like wrong to feel meaning in your life, right? That's okay.
Nerumero. Years of loyalty, years of creating content, and yet the moment he streamed Wuthering Waves, there were people in his community accusing him of betrayal. It's exhausting, it's unfair, and it's deeply unsustainable. The expectation that creators must unconditionally love—
And it's also not wrong to put your hopes and dreams into an unknown object sometimes, you know? I mean, it's just like, don't overrate it, okay?
and defend the game the company they cover is absurd.
Yeah, but I mean, when these creators like Brand Online when they foster overly positive communities with fake reactions, now whenever Brand says that something is slightly wrong or needs some work, his whole community turns on it. The exact same thing happened on Twitter. It's pathetic, man. That's why you cannot do it.
They are people, not PR spokesmen, and yet these expectations persist, hanging over creators like a sword ready to drop. But there's another layer to this dynamic, one that is perhaps the most sinister of all: the implied threat of financial ruin. When creators dedicate their platform to a single game, when their audience, their growth, and their income become entirely dependent on one title, they fall into an incredibly precarious position.
Big mistake.
And then they have to sacrifice everything that they are, everything that they think, in order to appease those above them. And it's
the mistake is in being the kind of person that they are looking for. It's not exactly in making your channel about one game. It's being the kind of person that would do that. That's the big mistake.
Horrible thing to see, man. I would never want to watch a creator where I felt like they weren't speaking for themselves, because I believe in the you in YouTube, and I want to know what people genuinely think, not what people are.
See, this is why they don't look for me at Hoyo, probably. I mean, I don't know, maybe they do. I mean, I do like their games, so...
financially incentivized to think. I don't want every opinion to come with a hashtag ad after it.
Here's the harsh truth. Companies knows this. Fans knows this. Hoyoverse knows this. It creates a toxic power dynamic where both parties can essentially say, if you leave this game, your career will die. If you criticize this game, your audience will turn on you. If you play something else, you won't be able to pay your bills. For creators, the fear of stepping out of line becomes paralyzing, even when...
I want to show you guys something where I realized that I needed my opinion to be authentic. And when that happened, I want to kind of show you what it looked like, because this is very, very, very important to me. A lot of you guys may not remember this, but I did quit Genshin Impact. Yes. Now, what does that look like when a creator does quit Genshin Impact? Well, I will let you know. It was, unironically,
let's take a look.
One of the hardest times for my channel. It was very, very, very difficult. Oof. And I kind of want to show you what that did to my channel, if I can find this real quick. Here it is. So I quit Genshin Impact right around here. And my channel's views tanked. Tanked hard. I went down to getting 20,000 views, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 10,000, 15,000, 10K, 17K.
I would take 10K views. Come on.
I'm still losing subscribers and followers to this day.
Which makes sense because of the kind of audience he picked up with the Genshin stuff.
On YouTube and Twitch. I don't think I've had a stream consistently, or YouTube consistently go up in subscribers in a year and a half, because Genshin's influence is so high. But, and I mean this generally, I'm losing followers every time I go live. Ignore these, I got botted.
Whoa.
Don't know by who. Somebody botted me followers, I don't know who. I've been losing followers consistently since that day. And it was the lowest point in my Twitch and YouTube career ever. But the thing you got to understand is subscriber count doesn't matter. Twitch follower count doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. The only thing that matters is how many views you're getting. And from that day,
it's like it's all in the listing, right? If you're in the top spot on a listing for a game,
I could maybe get 500 to 600 in variety. From that day, I could get like 4 to 5K in Genshin Impact, but now we're getting 4 to 5K in anything. I can play.
And you want to build up your viewer base with people who care for what you have to say, and so you can take over the top spots in the game rankings.
Anything. I can do anything. I can say anything.
Because he makes good content. So he has people who want to see his content.
Because I cannot tell you how important it is for your community to know that when you talk, it is the truth and it is how you feel. No one is influencing what you say. That's why I'm happy.
Yeah, that's one approach, sure. I mean, I try to do that too.
To not be a part of any organization, any larger company where there's expectations required of me. And when I speak, my chat knows, okay, this guy has no reason to lie. And it's...
I mean, Mark Twain, it's the things you know that just ain't so that get you in trouble, right? So, you know, I don't know, like, I don't know. I think Tectone is a really solid content creator and a pretty well-formed person, but I mean, try telling that to somebody who's not that. Like, what are they going to do with that?
So important. Yes, the short-term losses that you will feel.
And also, like, I mean, I see some big names in politics who clearly lie, and they clearly are beholden to some line, but it's like, okay, but they also deliver value.
You transition out of a more corporate channel to a more authentic channel is going to be staggering, and it is going to hurt. But when your chat knows that you're doing this because you want to be able to be truthful with them, they will respect the fuck out of that. They will. And the more you move away from these other businesses or contractual obligations that you are required to do, the more time you're going to have on focusing on the number one thing to every content creator that should be. And that's your goddamn community. Every content creator's number one focus should not be a company. True. It should not be the money. It should not be your corporations or the contracts. Your number one focus should be the people who fucking got you there.
Yeah.
And that's the God's honest truth. You need to respect these people and understand everything they've done for you. And yes, I do believe that content creators, in some sense, have earned their audience, not been given it for free.
Yeah.
But just understand, when you earn their love, you can also earn their hatred. And if there's one thing that people don't like, it's finding a fake fucking bitch.
They know that they're being mistreated. Even when they know they're being taken advantage of, they feel trapped. And this isn't just about Hoyoverse. It's everywhere. It's the way the gaming industry has conditioned both creators and audiences to believe that loyalty to a single game or a company is the only way to success.
But people want to believe. It's not like they were conditioned. Come on. That's how they come right out of the gate. Out of school, out of whatever.
By the way, pro tip, if you're not enjoying a game, just quit. Company loyalty is the dumbest shit ever. You don't owe these devs, you don't owe these companies. Shit, you don't even owe me to sit here and watch me if you don't like my content. What the fuck are you doing? If you don't like something, leave. You don't.
By leaving, you pay your dues in a way. If you owe somebody and they have a crap product and you don't speak up, do you do them a service by not speaking up? No, you do them a disservice. So by leaving, you show that you owe them and you pay them what you owe them. You pay them their dues by leaving, or like by criticizing in other ways, whatever. Leaving is, of course, the most basic way to do that, but yeah.
Don't owe nobody nothing. It's the same thing for the products you purchase. Guys, I'm going to say something bad. The products you purchase, the shows you watch, the media you consume. I don't give a fuck about working conditions. I don't give a fuck. The only thing I want is the best product for the cheapest price in the quickest amount of time.
You don't need to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders all the time, right? So, but that's going on too. But like, so yeah, on the one hand, you don't owe nobody nothing. On the other hand, you do have a kind of responsibility in everything, right? But so you got to make decisions. I think that's the important part.
I don't give a fuck. Just give me what I want and make it cheap. Because the world's hard enough as it is.
Also
okay?
True. And there's so many ways that people try to tell you about all these problems in the world that just ain't so, you know? It's oh, I guess it's about something in another country. How do you even know it's real? Like, what do you mean?
$3.29 for a double cheeseburger at McDonald's. I don't give a fuck if that hamburger's ethically made. If I can get it for a quarter cheaper, I'm gonna buy that option every goddamn day of the week.
Creators are stuck in the middle, walking a tightrope above an audience that can turn on them in an instant, and a company that...
I will shout out Neutrality Studies Pascal for stuff about other countries. Yeah, I mean, sure, with some reservations, sure. I have my own ideas about some things, sure.
Can discard them without hesitation. It's an impossible position to maintain forever. And yet, so many creators keep walking that.
And for all y'all who say, no, I care about working conditions, hey, y'all know that your phone was made in a Chinese sweatshop by children, and Jujutsu Kaisen animators are pretty much treated the same as fucking animals, right?
If it's some other country, what do you know about it? Especially if it's a country that your country has an interest in you not knowing about the situation.
Right? And I bet y'all still got a phone. I bet y'all still watched that goddamn season. And it was good too.
And yeah, for the animators, I've heard them pretty bad stuff there. I wonder what are the incentives for that story to be so popular. Like, what's up with that? I haven't thought about that.
That shit was good too. Yes, sir.
Terrified of what waits for them if they fall. This isn't sustainable. It's not fair. And it's not something we can keep ignoring. At some point, something has to change. Because if it doesn't, the cycle will just repeat.
Again, Hoyo is just gonna make more money by being better to their content creators. Easy.
Every creator will eventually face their own Nerumero moment. And when that happens, we will have to ask ourselves, was this inevitable or could it have been avoided? After everything we have talked about, the mistreatment of Nerumero, the illusion of official content creator program.
Also, of course, not every content creator will have a Nerumero moment. Of course not. Like, because Hoyo will fix this now, right?
The relentless grip of corporate control and the unshakable loyalty of certain audiences, the question remains.
I'll just be more clever and smart about how they manage their creators.
Can this actually change?
Which is a quote from a League of Legends character, which I wish they said, but they don't actually. I just, you gotta be clever and smart, I love the redundancy on that one. I love it.
Companies like Hoyoverse and others in industry learn to treat their creators with respect, transparency, or fairness, or will they continue to double down on rigid control, prioritizing...
See, they won't double down on rigid control because it's not a conscious effort on the part of the company. They just didn't think this through ever.
Their bottom line over meaningful purpose.
They will optimize their bottom line by not being rigid with the control. I mean, come on.
Partnerships. Change might not come quickly, and it might not come...
Have you not seen the Honkai Star Rail whole subplot in Penacony with what's his name? Sunday? Anyway, the dude. It was all about order, right? I mean, they get it.
Willingly. But as long as creators keep speaking up, and as long as audiences keep supporting them, it can happen. And speaking of audiences, let's talk about Hoyoverse.
I don't want to virtue signal, but I'm going to make this about myself once again. If people haven't figured it out yet, I really love giving a platform to anybody who wants it or anybody who needs it. Don't believe me? I literally talked to a openly racist, openly homophobic Chinese man on stream yesterday for 5.5 fucking hours. If anybody ever wants me to help them branch off into variety, if anybody wants help growing their channel, you can always talk to me. And yes, that goes for anybody. Yes, even Zajeff,
nice.
even Atsu, even Enviosity. Anybody, I don't care. If I think it will benefit the space of the gacha community, that's all I care about. That's all I've ever cared about. I just want the place where I work to not fucking suck. That's it. That's all I want.
It's almost like he's a union rep. Amazing. This is interesting how it's like it's of course not a union, right? But it's like because there's like only 5 people in the gacha space in a way, relative to the space of people who would be in a union, right? But of course, it's more than 5, but anyway. So it's like a lot more personal, and that's interesting.
But when I see content creator after content creator promoting malpractice after malpractice, it really fucking sucks. Especially when I get told, oh yeah, these other CCs are taking these deals at reduced rates, which means now you have to too. Because you're fucking with my money. And that's one thing that I'm not gonna fucking tolerate. Why the fuck are y'all dumbasses taking discounts for your rates just because the company don't feel like paying you more? What are you doing? Do you think we should...
I will say though, this guy is doing the work for Mihoyo. He's really making it happen, so Mihoyo can like not have trash ideas about how to manage their content creators. And it's gonna benefit Mihoyo in the end. He's like all about the gacha creator space. It's like, okay, I mean, who do you think that's gonna benefit? Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing to have even better gacha content creators and gacha games, which is what we get out of it. I'm just saying, maybe the company, they should really respect what they got with Tectone, and that's okay.
I have sympathy for these multi-billion-dollar companies when they tell you, oh, our budget's tight. That doesn't exist! Damn, y'all are dumb! It's insane. Oh yeah, Hoyo ran out of money. We're gonna need to cut your rates.
Yeah, no
Jesus.
way.
You, the viewer, hold more power than you realize. Every time you click on a video, leave a comment, share content, or support a creator.
By the way, it doesn't change the structure, right? Like, the company's still gonna try to optimize for the bottom line, right? I mean, just a reminder.
Directly, you're
like, where's the money in your pocket gonna come from? I want you to think about that. Good health, get ahead for yourself, and people can be awesome if you set them up for it. Includes you too.
Making a choice. So here's a message for
motherfucker Woo-Wah paying me less because of you? Well, that's just because I'm better. Hey, Fob, go live and let's play Marvel Rivals together, man.
Support creators, not corporations. It's the creators who show up every day, who share their passion, their humor, their frustrations, and their joy with you. Loyalty to a game doesn't mean loyalty to the developers. You can love a game's world, you can love a character and its stories without blindly defending the company that made it. Ask questions, stay critical, and don't be afraid to...
You can also love more games, more media, more things you could be doing. Good food. The people at your workplace, whatever it is. The people in your town. In your family, plenty good things going on there too, hopefully. And I mean, you can always contribute to that, even if it's not the case yet.
hold companies accountable. At the end of the day, games are supposed to be about fun, creativity, and community. But when corporate greed and control starts overshadowing,
I don't know about creativity. I don't know. I used to play those Korean MMOs where you grind a lot. You know what I mean? I don't know about creativity there, but anyway. Then the bots came and the model just started breaking down.
those values, it's up to the creators and audiences to push back. The relationship between creators and game companies shouldn't feel like walking on a tightrope. It shouldn't feel like creators are one bad day, one wrong tweet, or one stream competitor game away from losing everything they have worked for. Loyalty goes both ways, or at least it should. But as we've seen time and time again, it often doesn't. So whether you're a creator, a viewer, or just someone who loves these games, let Nerumero's story remind you of something important. Creators deserve respect, audiences deserves transparency, and companies, they need to do better. Because if they don't, the creators and communities they rely on might just start looking elsewhere. And honestly, they should. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting creators who speak up. And most importantly, thank you for caring.
Don't just settle for the company that lies most effectively to you as well, alright? Yeah, don't let it be like, oh, I just go to a different company now that's like less overt with how they treat their people wrongly.
God, Glaive is just such a good content creator. It's fucking unbelievable. One of the best additions to the gacha.
And their customers. It's like, you really think you have figured out where the good company is that's gonna be good to you? Like, you really think you figured it out? I mean, maybe you have, but many people haven't.
Community ever. And I do mean this. If any creator, no matter who they are, tries to branch off into variety content, like, for example, a guy you guys know that I all fucking hate, because I think he's a rat piece of shit. I do. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. I think Envy's a piece of shit. I really do. Okay, the guy's weird. The guy went after my personal life, fuck off. But regardless, I see that he's trying to branch off and play Pokemon TCG. I hope that you guys will go support his channel. Straight up. Because any creator just trying to actually finally do what they want deserves respect, at least in that regard. I can't convince you to do anything you don't want to do.
I don't know what respect is supposed to be here, but, you know, I mean, if you put out a product that you would enjoy, go check it out, sure.
Because I know for a lot of you guys, that guy's dead to y'all. But I'm just saying, if a creator's trying to branch off into variety, I fully respect it. That's just my opinion, but, I mean, maybe he's...
Again, I don't know about the respect language. I respect people as capable of very awesome things and pretty bad things, but anyway, go check out the people who think make content you like, and maybe you don't want content for the time being as well. I don't know. Content's just that.
He's too far gone by being a fake bitch for too long. Anyways, great video, Glaive. Go like, comment, subscribe to that guy's channel. Dude's the fucking man.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Nice summary of the situation. We'll link both vids below. And I hope you have a good one. Again, don't forget, good to have is #1, and you can do things for yourself. Not just be the best consumer you could be, because like how you gonna even know what company is lying to you most effectively? Anyway, hope you have a good one. Stay safe out there, and I hope you have a good one, which I just said. Anyway, meow.